Okay. So for individuals who are new to the Senate, you'll have an agenda in front of you. So as you can see, the first order of business is for me to call to order. And then I will proceed with roll call. So when I call you by your last name, just please say here. And I'm really sorry if I butcher your last name. So, Senator Bigd.
Present.
Senator Caldron Pitchford.
Here.
Senator Schmidt.
Here.
Senator Johnson.
Here.
Senator Mohammed.
Who?
No, Fadl Mohammed.
Oh.
Senator Shakumbe. Senator Pradhan. Senator Samishek. That was the first name on.
It's her first name.
Oh.
Do you want her last name?
Yes, but do you know how that's spelled?
Bhattarai.
Is that
Bhattarai.
Senator Patel? Senator Shoemaker? Senator Moultrie?
Here.
Senator Sajal?
Here.
Senator Suleiman? Senator Weinsrow?
Here.
Senator Samoa?
Soma. Yeah.
Senator Bana?
Here.
Senator Bouchel? Bouchel?
Yes.
Is that you? Senator Akat?
Here.
Akat. Senator Nellis?
Here.
Senator Karki? Senator Prom?
Here.
Senator Hoyseth?
Here.
Senator Bessler?
Here.
Senator Zellmer?
Here.
Senator Dickey?
Here.
President Omar? Here. Vice President Trunny?
Here.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right. Is there anybody here for presentations or open forums? Yes, Vice President Jones.
Thank you for the opportunity, and this is a two-part one. And welcome to everybody. I'm the Vice President for Student Affairs and Enrollment Management here at the university. I'm fighting a cold a little bit, so I sound like I got a frog, but so just fist bumps today, no handshakes. But my office is located on the second floor of Wigley Administration, room 228. I'm here as a resource for you. I work closely with Amber and John Bolcott. Hi, John. And Mark Costine as well, to help support everything that you do here in this facility, on this campus, and everything you do. So please never hesitate to reach out if you have questions like that and try and follow up and provide you the best support we can. The second thing I want to talk through, I was unable to get back here for the last meeting, the 86th meeting, and I understand there were a couple questions as I read the notes regarding the motion that was successfully passed to create a new student fee. I did hear there were some questions about whether that could ever become a mandatory fee. And I just want to clear up that it can never become a mandatory fee. The way we approach orientation here at our university is that it's a voluntary activity during the summer. Nobody has to go to it. They're always welcome to attend the very last orientation at the start of classes, and that's when you would sign up for classes. So the way that the system has created that tuition and fee policy, within that new student orientation fee is never going to be a mandatory fee. So I think that should allay any of the questions that were popped up last week. But with that, I'll pause, and I realize some of you probably have no idea what we're talking about, but that's, I'm happy to talk more about it later as well. But if there's any questions or comments, I'm open to hearing them.
Senator Hoyseth?
So was the purpose, just to recap from the last meeting, was the purpose to just make it a more clear section of where the fee is so that we understand when we're discussing that that's what that's for?
Yeah, exactly. So under the previous iteration of that policy, the special events fee was the fee that all the universities and colleges were using for orientation. And it's not really the intent of what that fee was made for. It was just like the best fit. So the creation of this new student fee was to allow for that to be much more transparent. So when you receive your student bill and you attend orientation in the future, you wouldn't, of course, but new students would. It would say new student fee as opposed to special event fee. So it'll be cleaner that way.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions? Anyways, thank you, Vice
Awesome.
President Jones. Okay, so the next item, oh, sorry, is there anybody else here for open? John? Yes.
As Dr. Jones introduced himself as well, for some of you I'm a new face, for several of you I will not be. My name is John Bulcock. I serve as the Assistant Director of Student Activities. So my office is down one floor and as far that way as you can go in this building. I wear several different hats here on campus, and one of them is serving as the advisor to student government. So you'll see me at almost every meeting. In addition to that, I'll meet on a weekly basis with the leadership team, whether it be just the vice president, president, and speaker, or the expanded cabinet as well. So the coordinators who are working with student government. So you'll see me at a lot of stuff. When we have a retreat, I'll likely be there. I'll be involved in the planning of that. I also play, I meet mostly with leadership team, but also if you find yourself working on a special project as a senator and you need help or guidance and who to connect with about accomplishing what you want to do with that project, I can serve as that kind of resource and try to help create a bridge for you to actually get there or answer a question that may not be so obvious. I'll tell you a little bit about the philosophy that I take on too, is I take for granted that people who find themselves in leadership roles like this are also resourceful and are able to do a Google search or go to the university website and look for something and to find things out. But if you've tried that and you have not been able to reach a conclusion to what you need, certainly seek me out and I'll try to help you find and answer those questions. But you'll find that I tend to be a fairly real person. I don't mind having tough conversations. I take feedback and will help share feedback. I also serve as kind of a liaison to upper administration. So if I hear something during a meeting back here that needs to go to somebody like Mark Johnson or to Dr. Jones or to the president's office, I'll oftentimes drop a little line that'll say, hey, here's something that they're talking about as a potential project. Heads up that this might be coming your way. So I kind of serve in that role as well, because oftentimes surprises can catch us off guard a little bit here, and if you get a surprise dropped on your lap sometimes that can be an uncomfortable thing, and same with others on campus. So I try to kind of help prevent that from happening. So Amber and I are in regular communication. Amber will be the face that you'll see first time, anytime you walk into the office most of the time, but we're here to serve as resources. So in addition to serving as a student government advisor, I also advise fraternity and sorority life. I'm also the university's contact for off-campus housing, so I have a relationship with about 30 or 40 property managers in and around Mankato. I'm in contact with city officials, law enforcement, the neighborhood associations that are very vocal in a lot of the neighborhoods where our students live and rent places. And so if you're living in a rental property, chances are I know who your property manager is and have talked to them at some point. So not only do we do advertising, but I also help with any issues that students might face. I can connect to student attorneys if I can't answer a legal question, but I also can pick up a phone call, or pick up a phone and just call somebody and try to help get something resolved if need be. In addition to that, during the fall semester, I also tend to teach a section of first year seminar. I know this fall I'll be teaching one that's directed for those undecided students. And so, again, multiple hats on campus, pretty well connected with resources, and all of that. So look to me to be a resource, but also look to me to be one who is going to be counting on you to get a lot of the stuff done that you want to get done. I tend to be an advisor. I'm not a director for student government. Y'all direct what you do, okay? And so I will provide advice and guidance in where I can, but I will not, unless there's a really major legal or safety or a question like that, I will not direct what you do. I will help advise and provide guidance as you do your stuff. Okay, so I look forward to working with you. I've been a student government vice president and senator myself, so understand a little bit about the inner workings and politics that come with this, but hope to see you accomplish a lot for your fellow students and provide the support as I can.
Is there anybody else here for Colleen?
Hi, my name is Colleen Klink, and I'm a librarian, and I'm the Faculty Association liaison to the student government. But what I really want to say is, like, if there's anything that you want to understand more in depth, that project that you're anticipating working on in the fall or next year, I'm around all summer. some days unofficially, some days officially. But if you want to like get a deeper understanding, there is like a rich, deep, wonderful body of literature that can inform your practice. Student affairs is its own profession and its own research, you know, backed up with theories and statistics. And so if there's anything that you want to work on, and this summer might be a good time to, you know, dig in deep, just contact me, and I can do Google searches, but I can also, you know, get you in touch with the educational database that's all about student affairs literature, okay? So just get in touch with me if there's anything you want to explore. Okay, thank you.
Elliot?
Good afternoon, Senators. Congratulations to the newly elected Senators. My name is Elliot Floyd, and I'm a graduate student here at Minnesota State Mankato, and I also work in the Department of Campus Recreation with the Adventure Education Program on a program called Maverick Adventures. And what I'm trying to do, if you want to pass these flyers around, is just trying to get students to get outside to be able to offer hikes, canoeing trips, camping trips, etc. to the student body at an affordable rate. It's not free. Some programs might be free, but as you get to know more of the programming and what we offer throughout the fall and spring semesters, you'll just kind of see more of what we're about. Thankfully, this year I've been able to implement, with the help of fellow students, 6 pilot programs that we've been working on. We've been able to go on a bike ride, do a cooking trip, some hiking trips, a caving trip, and I'm planning to do more of that type of thing with students next semester to be able to get Mavericks outside and access nature and explore the counties and the areas around us. If you have any questions or thoughts or concerns about this, or have anything you'd like to add about the programming, feel free to contact me. We do have an ad hoc committee that meets. We don't have a designated date of yet, but that will be sent out in an email later at the end of this month, trying to get people to meet with us to discuss ideas to get this program going forward. And you can also follow us on our Facebook page as well. I also apologize if I don't have enough flyers to go around. Thank you.
Is there anybody else here for open forum? Okay. Before we move on, I'd like to apologize for being late and out of breath. I forgot the list of senators' names, even though Amber asked me if she wanted me to give it to her, and I trusted myself and I shouldn't have. Sorry. But anyway, as you continue with the agenda, so the next piece of the agenda can be kind of confusing, so I just wanted to take a minute to explain it. So it's the approval of the consent agenda. So what I'm going to ask is if there's any dissent to the consent agenda, and if what you see past this, including appointments, senator reports, officer reports, vacancy elections, if everything on there looks good to you, then you would not dissent. So you can see right now there are appointments that have been made based on your senator seat. So if you are an academic senator, you serve on the Academic Affairs Committee, and if you are a Res Life or off-campus senator, you serve on the Student Affairs. So continuing through the year, you will see appointments, recognized student organizations receiving the recognition from student government, student allocation committee requests. So you can see there's currently one, a travel request. We have a student allocations committee that goes through these requests and approves them preliminary, which then are approved by the Senate. So with that, I will ask, is there any dissent to approving the consent agenda? Seeing none, this agenda is approved. And now we will continue into officer reports, starting with President Omar.
Okay, so I have a little bit. First of all, welcome back to those of you guys who are on the 86th Senate, and welcome all you new senators to your very first student government meeting. So the 86th Senate has left a OneDrive with their transition reports, and you guys are all added to that right now. There's also hard copies in the student government office. There's binders under your college, or if you're an off-campus, on what they worked on and who they met with while they're senators. I'll also be passing around a meet and confer sheet. So this is when we meet with it's a once a month meeting. We meet with the president's cabinet, where we discuss what we've been working on as student government, and they tell us what they've been working on. So I'll start passing that around so you guys can sign up. There's about 4 or 5 spots left, I believe. It's May 2nd. It's from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. and it's going to be held in CSU 203. Also, we will be having an extra meeting next week, May 1st. In this meeting, we're going to discuss Robert's Rules, how our meetings are going to run. We're going to discuss the different committees we have and how you guys can go on ahead and sign up for those. And we also have we're thinking about doing a retreat. We just don't know a date as of yet. And during this retreat, it kind of gets us ready for the fall semester, gets student government ready, and it's also kind of a bonding experience for all the senators on student government. And our last thing is Vice President Mohammed Sajal from International Student Association has contacted me and wanted me to let you guys all know that their board is now accepting domestic students to apply. So the deadline is today at 11:59 p.m. if you guys want to go on Engage and sign up. And I also have a student government membership page sheet for you guys all. It has your emails, it has your phone numbers, and your office hours. You guys can start writing down the office hours if you guys have your class scheduled for fall, or you guys held off until the beginning of the fall. So that's it.
Okay. Are there any questions for President Omar? Seeing none, we will move into Vice President Trenny's report.
Hi everyone, I'm so excited to work with everyone next year. So I have just 2 things. One, everyone has to be on, all senators have to be on at least 2 committees. And you can find that on the Engage page. You can sign up, fill out a little application for NISA. The president appoints and then the Senate will confirm. So please start getting those in for next year. We won't start making appointments until next year, but it's good to get them done now than later. And as well as you see today that everyone's appointed to the right committees, those will be starting next year at 3 p.m. on Wednesdays. And then the other thing is you guys will all be getting binders next year at our fall meeting. They just help you keep track of information, sheets of paper, anything you guys will need for your Senate duties, you guys will get them next year, along with name cards. So that's all I have.
Are there any questions for Vice President Trenny? Seeing none. So moving on, the next piece would be senator reports. As you can see, there are none, but throughout the year, senators will be responsible for giving 2 a semester. So that's an opportunity for all of you to kind of discuss what you've been working on, asking for advice from your fellow Senate, and then just kind of keep them updated with the progress that you are making way with your constituency. Next is the vacancy election. So you can see today we have a vacancy election for the speaker. I do have applications that I can pass around that were completed by the candidates who applied. You can also see there are 5 vacancies for the fall semester, so those will not be filled and elected on until September 4th. But by our bylaws, we do require a 2-week notice. So students will have a whole summer to decide whether or not, so I also encourage you to inform your friends and peers who fall in those constituencies to consider running in the fall semester, as well as definitely if you meet any new students in the fall, encourage them to get involved as well. But with that, right now I will, before we move into speaker elections actually, for those of you who did not attend the inauguration next week, I do need you to stand up so you can take your pledge oath right now so you can be a senator. So for those of you who were not here last week, please stand and, yeah, go down there.
I'll make it.
Okay. So I'll repeat after me. I state your name. Oh, and put your hand up in a ring, sorry.
Same time?
Yeah, you can do it together.
Wow. Elijah Calderon Fitchford.
Hereby swear to uphold
Hereby
swear to uphold
swear to uphold
the Constitution, bylaws
the Constitution and bylaws
of the Minnesota State Student Government,
of the
of
Minnesota State
Minnesota State Student Government.
assist students in their academic
Assist students in their academic
and student life needs.
and student life needs.
I so affirm.
I so affirm.
Okay. Okay, now that everybody sitting around the table is a fully inducted senator, so anyone who is here to run for the speaker election, please stand up. Thanks. Is there anybody else here to run for the speaker vacancy? Seeing none, Emma, Senator Selmer, I will allow you a 1-minute opening, and then you will stand for questions from the Senate. Senators, please look at the application that was passed around. There are some pretty good questions that are asked, so you can see those ahead of time. And then after questions, you will be able to have a 2-minute closing. So with that, you can begin on my calculator. You can begin whenever you're ready.
Awesome. So hello to the 87th Senate. My name is Emma Zelmer. I'm currently was elected in as a Res Life Senator, but I did serve on the Student Senate throughout my freshman year from September until March. I served as a Res Life Senator, and then after the Speaker stepped down, I was elected to finish out the year as the Student Senate Speaker. So for my credentials on why I might be good at the Speaker position, well, I've already done it for, although a short amount of time, I have done it before. So there will not be a learning curve when I do happen to come in. I already know everyone that I work with, attend all the meetings I need to. The Speaker's responsible for creating the agenda, so anything on the consent agenda, such as travel requests, get emailed to me and I put them on the agenda. I email out the agenda the day before the meeting with any important things that you guys need to know. For the 6 office hours, you guys will submit them online. I'm currently in the process of switching the 86th student government office hour engaged page into the 87th. And beyond that, I was also in debate my senior year of high school, and I was a national semifinalist in parliamentary debate.
Thank you. So now we will open the floor for questions. So I know some of you have your previous placard if you were a senator. So the kind of way we go about it in meetings is if you have a placard, you would put it up like this for questions. But for those of you who do not have a placard, you can stick your hand out, and then when I make eye contact with you, know that I will add you to the speakers list, and then we'll call on you for your question. So with that, is there any questions? Senator Hoysett.
What do you think is your biggest strength?
So my greatest strength in the speaker position is definitely my knowledge of Robert's rules. As I briefly talked about in my opening statement, I was a national semifinalist in congressional debate where I served as the presiding officer, which is inherently the speaker. So I have experience doing Robert's rules in a competitive setting, and this is a lot easier than that. My greatest weakness, however, would have to be, well, names. I'm very bad at last names for anyone and remembering names in general. But beyond that, I'm somewhat a procrastinator, but with my time this past year with Senate, I've always gotten out the agendas on time. There was only one time that I didn't get the speaker's correspondence to Amber in time, and that's because I went home on Thursday rather than Friday. And she emailed me about that, and I got that into her first thing on Monday. But that would be my greatest weakness, but I am making sure that I overcome it.
President Omar.
For those new senators who have not seen how you ran meetings for the 86th Senate, how do you plan on running meetings?
So when it comes to Robert's rules, so former President Cronin has done a really good job of walking you guys through the agenda. For meetings, I tend to run them both strictly and loosely when it comes to Robert's rules. Although you guys don't have name placards now, if you guys do plan to speak in meetings, you need to put up your placard so I can acknowledge you and give you the floor. I do expect the respect for everyone in the Senate that you guys don't speak unless you are called upon, and that if you guys have more than one question, you at least tell me beforehand that, hey, I have a two-parted question, so then everyone is on the same page with what is happening, so we are all respecting each other's time. But with that being said, if you are asking someone a question and they mishear you or don't answer it correctly, feel free to correct them and make sure that they are answering correctly, and we don't need my acknowledgement to do that. But I do plan on doing a presentation next week, if elected, to kind of walk you guys through how meetings run, Robert's rules, and the logistics of those, as well as passing out a Robert's rules sheets for motions and whatnot, because I understand that they are quite confusing. But other than that, I plan on running meetings in a similar fashion to how they are always run, but having Robert's rules in mind, if that answered your question. It's kind of hard to talk about in that show.
Are there any more questions for candidate Zelmer? Senator Prom.
Well, obviously the position of speaker is unbiased. As serving as the campaign chair for one of the parties, how would you remain, or what would you do to remain unbiased?
Yeah, absolutely. I completely understand that. And a similar question was brought up the first time I ran for speaker. As a senator and as somebody that's a political science major, I am very biased when I have the opportunity to speak my opinion. I'm a very opinionated person, but I also have the maturity and I would say self-control to be able to step back and look at the role from a greater aspect and understand not only do I not have the opportunity to be biased when I'm choosing speakers list, because I can't say, no, one person can't speak, the other person can. And speakers list, I typically go off of who I see first until a order has been set, and then I call on people who have been heard from less than other people have spoken multiple times in the meeting to make sure that new voices are being heard. But I definitely have the professionalism to make sure that I am being unbiased, and that when it comes to issues, I am able to be the source of contact if you are looking for either both sides of an argument or how to proceed with the argument going forward.
Thank you.
Yes. Are there any more questions? Any more questions? Seeing none, we will move into closing statements. You can begin when you're ready.
So once again, thank you all for giving me some time to speak with you and run for this position. I'm sad that there's no one else running, but and also kind of happy, I guess. But I really hope that you all give me the opportunity to serve as your guys' speaker. My door, as I was speaker before, is always open. I actually typically leave it unlocked because it gets really hot in there. So if you want to come visit, we can talk in the main part of the student government office and not in my closet. But I'm always very open to questions. I have taught people Robert's Rules before through debate. So when there are questions from newer senators about how Robert's Rules works, and even experienced senators, because Robert's Rules are run differently by every presiding officer, I'm very open to speak with you about them if you have any questions. I've also done a lot in this past month as speaker, working a lot on bylaw amendments and constitution amendments, and I do have experience drafting those and also pointing you in the correct direction on where you need to go to if you need something done. Beyond that, I've also served time as a senator, so I know what it's like to sit in your guys' seats and what a senator wants from a speaker. So I definitely look forward to making sure that your guys' needs are met and that we run effective and efficient meetings that make sure we are using our time to the best of the ability to serve those who elected us into this office. So I really hope you all give me the opportunity to serve as your speaker. Thank you.
So now, at this point during vacancy elections, the candidates do go into the hallway, and we are able to have a discussion. So as soon as So I will be opening up the floor for discussion. I can see Senator Schmidt.
So just, hi, I lost my brain. Emma is a really, really good candidate just because she took the position when, like, we had 2 meetings left. It was very hectic and I lost my thoughts. Yeah, she took it with stride. She knows what she's talking about, and she's been doing this since she was a kid, basically. So yeah, that's all I really have to say.
President Omar.
I too agree with what Senator Schmidt says. I feel as though she'll run effective and efficient meetings, and yeah, so that's all I'll be supporting her.
Vice President Trenny.
I would say the same thing too. She's very passionate, very dedicated. She's helped Denise out and me out, especially coming into office, and she was very helpful to President Cronin and former Vice President Omar. But I do support her too for speaker and encourage her.
Senator Bigden.
Call the question.
There's been a second. So a call to question means that we move straight into a vote. So I will ask if there's any dissents. So if there's dissent, then we would move into a vote where you would raise your hand whether or not you want to vote on the matter. But if there's not a dissent, then we would move into a ballot vote where you would take a little piece of paper, rip it, write down either the candidate's name or no confidence. So with that, is there any dissent to moving into a vote? Oh,
Can I say my dissent?
sure.
Can we vote by raising hands? Why do we do for vacancies? Do we have to?
We do ballot. So, is there any other dissent to? Okay, so with that, please write either the candidate's name, which is Emma, or no confidence, and then hold it up, and John or I will come around and collect it.
I'm going to collect this side of the table from Mimi this way, and then Mimi will collect that side of the table. I'm not going to walk past one.
I mean, I have the red pen. I have the red pen, so you know.
So you would write on here either or no confidence.
Oh, you want
Oh, no.
Argue again.
That's a speaker's description. She'll let you know.
So there has been an election. I would like to congratulate Emma Zelmer on being elected the 87th. First, very important question. Do you resign from your Res Life seat?
I do.
Okay, so with that, I will also be adding to the vacancy elections residential life senator to be elected on September 4th, 2019, along with the 5 other vacancies. Next, Emma, or Speaker Zelmer, please raise your right hand, and I state your name.
I, Emma Zelmer,
Hereby swear to uphold
the
Constitution, bylaws
the Constitution and bylaws
of the Minnesota State Student Government,
of the Minnesota State Student Government,
assist students in their academic and student life needs.
assist students in their academic and student life needs.
I so affirm.
I so affirm.
Bye. Don't be crying. We'll never forget.
Come to the gallery. Awesome. Oh, I forgot my extension.
Awesome. So thank you everyone for electing me to this position. I also forgot my pen, it's back. So, anyway, so with that, we will, all the vacancies are declared, so make sure you guys are spreading the word about those. Are there any questions on any of the vacancies, on what the expectations are for vacancy elections in general? No? Awesome. So with that, now we would move into old business. So old business is normally a time where any motions that were brought up the week prior, we would be either voting on them or continuing discussion on them. So anytime that there is something that carries on to the next week, it is put in old business. Is there any questions on old business? No? Okay, so after old business, we move into new business, and that is a time where there are new motions that are brought up. This past year in Senate, there were a lot of motions and amendments to the bylaws of the Constitution that were brought forth. So this week, if there was a motion this week, it would be a new business, and it would be the first reading of this motion. So you guys would be able to have a discussion on it, but there would be no vote held on it until the next week. Is there any, but one thing that I've been talking with President Omar and Vice President Trenny about is using new business to also open up discussion on different motions or different projects that are being held. So one thing that they would really like to see from the Senate is passing resolutions of support for different things that are going on around campus. So let's say, like, when our hockey team was going off to the major tournament, we could pass a resolution of support for them. Or more serious matters, if a RSO is trying to change something on campus, we could pass a resolution of support for them. But we could also just motion to open up discussion on something that a senator has been trying to change on campus, or a new issue that we would like to see brought to the table. So by motioning to open up discussion in new business, we would be able to talk about the issue, ask questions about the issue, and see what we would like to do moving forward as a student government with those issues. So is there any questions on that? And if you guys have any questions in the future, please either email me or stop by the office, and we can definitely talk about how that would work. Senator Hoysa.
Would the motions have to be introduced to you before this Senate meeting, or could like someone right now be like, any new business, we could just raise it and start talking about something?
Yeah, it can be both. Okay. So it would be preferred if you guys would bring it up beforehand to me, so then it can be put on the agenda, and if there's anything that you guys want to hand out, it can be handed out. But if there are some things that you guys didn't have time to get to me before the agenda which is sent out, which is at noon the day before the meeting, which would be Tuesdays, we can definitely motion for those, and I'll just update them in the speaker's correspondence. John?
If I can just provide just a good general rule of thumb. If you're changing legislation, like for example, you want to pass a resolution or you want to amend the bylaws, that stuff in writing will help everybody around the table. Now, if it's something like opening discussion or something on a matter, that's one that would come from the floor. But anything like a bylaw change or anything, or a resolution, to include that on the agenda is a very good thing. So yeah, good rule of thumb to think about.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yeah, does that answer your question?
Yeah.
So are there any other questions about new business and how it will be working moving forward? Nope. Awesome. So now we would move into announcements. So during announcements, we can take things from either the gallery or around the table about either events coming up on campus or any announcements that you would like to make that we should make our constituents know about, or even us in general. So with that, are there any announcements? President Omar?
One thing I forgot to mention while handing out the Senate roster is that, can you guys double check to make sure your email address as well as your phone number is correct on here? And if there is no phone number, if you guys want to add it, and you guys can just send it to me, I'll have it here.
Senator Hoysa?
Hi, I'd like to introduce myself to the new senators. I'm Sophie Hoysath. I'm a residential life senator, and this will be my second year serving on the Student Senate. And I kind of want to take this opportunity, if anyone who is an incumbent or someone who served before, can you raise your hand? So there's not super a lot of us, but we're here to help you. So any of us who are here, we want to make this a good Senate session. So if you have any questions, you can always come to us to make sure you know what's going on or have any questions. It'll make everything run smoother if you're open and honest. If you don't know what the heck's going on, because I remember being new and being super lost. So that's that. Second thing is to follow up with something that I've been working on the school year. Lobby day is tomorrow for out from Minnesota, so I'm lobbying tomorrow at the Capitol for LGBTQ+ rights. If anyone is interested, you can talk to me about it, but that's tomorrow, so I'm excited to represent the school there then. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. Are there any questions for Senator Hoysath first? Seeing none, Senator Prom?
Greetings, everyone. My name is Alexander Prom. I would just like to quickly take this time to let all of you know that I am the president of the Residence Hall Association, as well as serving as a Res Life Senator. So that kind of combines two roles and just feeds off of one another. So if you have any like motions or any well, complaints, but just anything concerning the res halls, please come to me. I would be more than happy to work with you and help you out.
Awesome. Are there any questions for Senator Prom? Any questions? Seeing none, are there any other announcements? John? Sure.
A little bit about the structure for student government. Your major committees, student affairs and academic affairs, both have chairpersons, which are known as coordinators. And so if serving as the chairperson or the coordinator for one of those committees is something that you are interested in, President Omar makes that appointment, so please be sure that you express that interest to her. There are also a couple of other coordinators, the PR and marketing coordinator. Help me, remind me.
Oh, there's the diversity committee chair,
Yep.
and then there's also the election commission.
Yep, so that's not a coordinator level position, that's
Oh,
just
it's not coordinator. Oh, sorry.
So that's,
Those are
you
chairs.
appoint members to the election commission, and then the commission elects its chairperson. So, but the coordinators are the people who will serve on the expanded cabinet, okay? And so I believe the intent of the administration is to keep those open for formal appointment until fall. However, there's some work during the summer that needs to get done on some projects with those. So please, if you're interested in serving in that, express your interest to President Omar so that she can help direct some of the projects that might be good initiatives to work on over the summer. In addition to that, using the other hats that I wear, as a member of the student activities team and CSU team, letting you know that there is a late night breakfast the Monday of finals week that will be from 10 to 11:30, so that's a great opportunity to get out and meet about 600 students who will come through the line that night to feast on free food. Who doesn't love that? So, and there are a lot of other events going on here at the end of the year. In fraternity and sorority life, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, one of the fraternities that is trying to come onto campus and with a formal charter, will be having what's known as a probate on Friday night at 6 o'clock in Ostrander Auditorium, where they will be revealing their newest members. And so that is an event that is open to the public as well. So again, these are the type of things to announce. And we've got events coming up for groups that you are part of. Great chance to mention those during the open forum. Thank you. Or announcement.
Awesome. Thank you, John. Are there any questions? No? President Omar?
Along with the open positions, if you guys are interested, I sent you guys a link to the email that I sent on Monday, where you guys can apply for those positions, and I'll look it over through there. So you guys don't have to come to me, you guys can just apply.
Awesome. Are there any other announcements? Mark?
My name is Mark Constant. I work here in the CSU and student activities. I just wanted to welcome all the new folks around the room too. We do have, Sophie, we have a lot of new people, so it's nice to see some new faces. We like to say that this building is a student building. You pay for it, and we really want you to be involved in any way, if anything we can do for you as a staff to help you out along the way. We want to hear feedback, both good and not good, so we can make this a better place. Two of the committees that I work directly with are the Student Union Board, which is a group of students that help advise our staff to be able to do some things in the building. And then the other group is the Student Allocations Committee. I bring both those up because all of you have friends and some of you might be interested as well. We're looking for good, committed people to be part of those two committees. The Student Allocations Committee, and I already passed this on to President Omar, these will start fairly quickly. We'll get requests in immediately for travel and programming requests, so any people that are interested in that are friends as well. On that committee, there's only 3 senators that can be on the Student Allocations Committee, so you know that as part of your guidelines. And then the Student Union Board is open. We do have 2 people that were selected as part of the regular election process that are on the Union Board, and here. So we have 2 to start with automatically. I always encourage people that have been with us the last couple of years that if they're interested in coming back, we'd love to have them back on the committee. It's important to have some people that know history, especially on the Student Allocations Committee as well, because we deal with a lot of important things, and as most of you know, some of you might not know, that group is the group that hears all the hearings in the spring semester to make a recommendation back to this board about how to spend money through the student activities fund and fee overall. So look forward to you all passing this on, get people in so we can pick some good people. Your folks can pick some good people. Both those committees, just one more thing on those, they'll elect chairs and vice chairs within those committees after we have people come into those as well. So we look for people that are interested in taking some leadership roles as well. One thing I thought John was going to mention, but he didn't, a re-recognition and a recognition process for RSOs is going on right now. It opened up on April 15th. We opened it up a little bit earlier this year so that we can get folks that have new leadership already signed up so you don't have to worry about some of that as much when you come back. So I encourage any of you that are involved with student organizations to get on Engaged, update your portals there related to new officers, making sure you have at least 5 people in there, and then there's some other things you need to do to be recognized. So look forward to working with you all. If anything we can do for you, my office is down the hall here. We're here for you in any way that we can be here. Thank you.
Are there any other announcements?
Just a quick introduction. My name is Todd Finston. I'm the Director of Campus Recreation. I come to most Senate meetings, most student government meetings, because you heavily support campus recreation and our programs at the facility, so I'm usually here. We also have a Campus Rec Fee Advisory Committee, which I'll be working with President Omar, because she'll appoint somebody who'd like to get a senator involved in that committee as well, right away during fall semester, and then we get other students involved. But I appreciate your help there as well. So again, welcome to the new 87th. We're excited that you're here with us. The other thing, the sports dome, which we're going to start construction in June and hopefully be ready by December 1st. I'm kind of the point person on that. So if you have questions, thoughts, concerns, ideas, things about the dome, you can direct those toward me if you'd like. But you'll be hearing more about that come next fall as well. So updates, things like that. So thank you.
Any questions? Elliot?
I'm just going to say this semester seems like it's been especially hard on a lot of kids that I know. I've been here for about 32 years. So I just think it'd be nice if y'all put on your Facebook pages, because you all probably have a zillion, million, billion friends, you know, just something about be kind. Especially this time of year, I feel like students are so stressed out. So if you just put something on your Facebook saying, just be kind, especially kind right now to everybody, I think that'd be a great thing to do.
Awesome. Are there any other announcements? Any other announcements? Any other announcements? Okay, seeing none, we are now done with announcements. So with that, we'll be moving into roll call. So this is similar to at the start of the meeting. So if you guys are, so I'll just go through the list again. And then something to look towards the future, although you guys should be scheduling classes around this commitment. If you guys have some reason that you need to miss a meeting and you would need a proxy to sit in at this meeting for you. So if you have a proxy, which I'm sure many of the older senators have used in the past, please email me with when you're missing, why you're missing, and who your proxy is. And then when they come here during roll call, they'll say proxy, and then I will already have their name. So during roll call, if you're missing and you have a proxy, please just let me know ahead of time. But with that, we'll move into final roll call. Once again, I apologize if I butcher any names. I will get better, I promise. Senator Baked?
Present.
Senator Calderon Pitchford?
Here.
You can correct me.
It's Calderon.
Calderon, okay. Awesome. Senator Schmidt?
Here.
Senator Johnson?
Here.
Senator Mohammed? Senator Shakombi?
Here.
Senator Pradhan?
Here.
Senator Batan? Batari, right? Batari? Awesome. Senator Patel? Is he here? Senator Schumacher? Senator Moultrie?
Here.
Senator Sajal?
Here.
Senator Soleimani?
What?
Khaled? You're here.
Where's that?
Awesome. Senator Weinzierl?
Here.
Senator Soma?
Here.
Senator Bana?
Here.
Senator Bashal?
Here.
Senator Coate?
Here.
Senator Nellis?
Here.
Senator Karki?
Here.
Senator Prom?
Here.
Senator Hoysa?
Here.
Senator Bessler?
Here.
Senator Dickey?
Here.
President Omar?
Here.
Vice President Petrani?
Here.
Awesome. So with that, this meeting is adjourned at 4:59.